restored. Well done.
10-4, 10-4, 10-4. Roger that. 10-4.
New commander is on duty. Let's move.
Enemy forces, over. Roger that.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy vehicle!
UAV on
Hostile forces spotted, over. Over. Enemy vehicle!
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy unit on the enemy activity. Hostile on the road. Enemy vehicle! Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Over. We got enemy tanks inbound. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy troop. Enemy troop. Enemy activity. Do you copy?
New commander reporting for duty.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move.
Outpost is being overrun. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV on
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Roger that.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy cars. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy vehicle.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy car
Enemy units
spotted.
on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy true. Do you copy? Enemy hostile chopper identified. Activity. Do you copy?
UAV on
Enemy forces spotted.
Chopper identified.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy spotted.
Sniper. Enemy boat. Enemy car spotted. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? We got hostile armor. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted.
Need ammo. Over. Roger that. Enemy troops identified. Sniper. Enemy activity.
Enemy car spotted.
Enemy vehicle. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy troops identified.
You copy? Enemy troops identified. You copy?
Enemy sniper spotted.
Enemy activity. Enemy units.
Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops. Enemy car spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Over. Sniper. Enemy units. Enemy on the move. Do you copy? Sniper. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile armor sighted. Enemy forces spotted. Tank is inbound. Over. Hostile on the road. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostiles on the ground. Enemy troops.
Supplies
Enemy units on the move. Enemy on the ground. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Enemy armor
forces spotted.
Hostiles on the ground. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy APC identified. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Enemy forces identified. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the road. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Enemy armor spotted. Copy. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. We need support. Enemy forces being overrun. Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy car spotted.
Enemy active copy.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy vehicle. Enemy car spotted. Enemy units. Enemy active. Do you copy?
Enemy cars.
Enemy troops are okay. Enemy vehicle. We got hostile armor. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? We got enemy
Sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostiles on the ground. I owe you one. We got hostiles.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces.
Enemy troops. Enemy units. Enemy units. We got hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy units. Enemy activity. Copy. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy troops.
Enemy spotted.
Hostiles on the ground. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. You got it. Enemy activity.
Sorry.
Do you copy? How about some help over here? Enemy
forces.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry. Enemy car spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy car spotted.
Enemy activity. You copy. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy cars.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy car. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted.
Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy activity. Enemy troops.
Enemy forces. Enemy infantry. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry. Enemy forces infantry spotted. Enemy infantry.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Sniper spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
We've
Enemy
lost
troops on the road.
outpost is being overrun.
Enemy vehicle. Enemy vehicle. Hostile on the road. Enemy tank is inbound. Over.
spotted.
We got hostile. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Sniper.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy
Spotted.
troops. Hostile on the road. Enemy units on the move. Enemy
Enemy
troops.
car spotted.
UAV
Hostiles on the
online.
ground. Hostile
Enemy
vehicles.
helicopter.
Enemy units on the move. We got hostile armor. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy forces. Over.
Enemy helicopter
Enemy
spotted.
activity. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Roger that. Copy. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Sniper.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy hostile on the road. Good deal.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy activity.
Enemy car spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy vehicle. Hostiles on the ground.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Supplies at your position.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? You copy.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy helicopters. Enemy sniper spotted.
Hostile infantry
Enemy
spotted.
helicopter
Forces
spotted.
over. Hostile armor sighted. Enemy troops.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Hostile on the road. Enemy units.
Enemy helicopter.
Hostile on the road.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy vehicle. Enemy troops hostile on the ground. Enemy troops identified. Do you hostile infantry spotted? Over. Need ammo. Over.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
UAV
We've lost control of an outpost.
Running dry. Damn it. Sorry. Over.
Enemy forces. Enemy helicopters. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy troops.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter.
Enemy helicopter spotted on the ground.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Sniper. Hostiles on the ground. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Sniper. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy troops.
Infantry spotted.
Need ammo. Over.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy
Running
forces
dry.
spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy troops. Hostile forces spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy forces. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Over. Perimeter. Snipers on the perimeter. On the move.
Lost control of an outpost.
Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Over. Sniper. We need support. Do you copy? We need support. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy activity. I owe you one.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy cars. Enemy cars spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted.
Sniper. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy forces spotted. Over.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you hostile infantry spotted? Over. Running dry.
Enemy forces spotted.
I owe you one. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Spotted.
Enemy activity. Enemy troops. Enemy units on the move. Sniper. Enemy activity. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. forces. Over. Enemy activity. You copy.
Enemy.
Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Hostile infantry. Inbound. Identified. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy helicopter spotted. Vehicle dropped in your sector. Enemy weakening. Keep positions. Over. Enemy infantry spotted.
Online again.
Hostile forces spotted. Enemy forces. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy unit. Enemy unit on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy unit on the
Artillery,
move.
you're in.
Enemy unit. Sniper. Sniper. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy units on the move. Running dry. Need ammo.
Enemy forces.
Enemy unit on the move. Running dry. Hostile forces. Over. Enemy unit on the move. Enemy forces. Enemy unit on the move. Spotted. Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy hostiles on the ground.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Attack. Move out. Enemy forces. Snipers. Hostile forces. Snipers. On the perimeter.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Left and right. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostile
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy units on the move.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy troops identified.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Over.
Enemy infantry spotted.
We got hostile
Enemy
armor.
infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. You copy?
Enemy forces spotted.
Sniper. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Over. I need a medic quick. Do you copy?
Enemy